Hello everybody, my name is Gonub and here on the beta server I'm going to walk you through the most important questline you should take, and it's by Camilla here. This is called the New Horizon quest, so make sure after you do the Arwen quest you talk to her or him and continue on with it. This quest opens up all of the magic and it's just basically a boss rush through all the dungeons. So in this video I will give you tips and tricks to succeed in this quest. Camilla requires you to fight all of the main bosses in the first 4 dungeons, so we will first start off with fighting the Jester and the Joker in the beginner dungeon. These two are fairly easy because they have low health and cause little to no damage. No special tactic here. Smack them with an RPG weapon until they die. At all times have Prot 4 and Unbreaking 10 diamond armor. When they die, they do drop the Jester's head and the Joker's head, which are required to turn in. Next up is the Knight. He has a little bit more health but is still pretty easy because he is a solo boss. Hitting him into a corner and smacking him over and over will make you victorious. When he dies, make sure to pick up the Great Empathy as well. Finally, we have the Zombie King. The trick here is to lure him into a corner and maintain higher ground by standing on the stairs. It will allow you to damage him without taking as much damage. Be careful because he does throw you in the air, which might cause him to escape the corner. But just play smart, entomb him, and heal if necessary, and he'll be dead in no time. When he is dead, he will drop the Zombie Crown, which is needed to turn in for the Camilla quest. After you turn in all of the items to Camilla, which we'll see in a moment, you will enter the Lost Gold Mine dungeon. But first, let me give you some suggestions before moving on. Bring 2 to 3 sets of Prot 4 Unbreaking 10 diamond armor. Bring Dapples. Have 30 hearts. Prepare the Entomb, Blink, and Repair spells. If you are in a party, make sure to prepare the heal spell as well. If you have done the Lilith quest, then prepare the Purge skill. RPG weapons such as the Follower or Corsair Moors are recommended. Mounty memorial weapons such as Mernaster, Gamble, and Crescent Rose are extremely helpful from this point on. The first boss is the Trapped Miner. He's a zombie pigment and does a fair amount of damage. Keeping him in a corner will again be the strategy here, but be careful because he can hit you out sometimes. If you need to, entomb him, run back, swap armor and heal up before continuing to fight. Make sure you swap armor before using the repair spell, that way you can utilize the repair spell to its full potential. When he is dead, he drops the Trapped Miner's pickaxe, which you will need to turn in. Next up is Medicaid. She isn't as bad as the Trapped Miner because she is a zombie that you can outrange most of the time. Hitting her into a corner will be your best bet for success. Careful, after she is dead she does smite you with lightning, so keep your HP high before dealing the final blow. When she dies, make sure to pick up the Medicaid surgery needle, which you need to turn in. The Forgotten Forger is next, and he's extremely difficult. This battle there is no clear spot to keep him cornered, so this fight will be mostly head on. He tosses you in the sky, and he deals massive damage to your armor. You can corner him for a little bit, but as you can see he will always knock you back. Keep an eye on your health and armor. Use evasive skills such as Blink to keep him away. If you need to, leave the boss area to regen and swap around your armor. Purge will temporarily kill him, which will give you enough time to leave. Don't worry, after a few seconds the boss will resurrect. When he is finally dead, make sure to pick up the Forgotten Forger's hammer, which you need to turn in. After the Forger is the Lunch Lady, which is a tad less difficult in comparison. She is a zombie, so cornering her is really recommended. She tosses you up into the sky, which might give her time to escape, but overall, this battle is very similar to the Zombie King battle. The fence corner behind the counter gives her enough room to escape from time to time, so I recommend hitting her into the stone corner near the entrance, as shown here. Pick up the lunch item that she drops. Heads up, unlike the previous boss items, the lunch item name is in all white, so make sure not to accidentally toss it away thinking it's just a piece of bread, like I did. Jidaro the Miner is the final boss in this dungeon. He will be the most difficult boss you'll encounter thus far. He does a lot of physical damage and has a lightning spell that may deal 2 to 4 hearts. The strategy I recommend is to lure him down the stairs from where he spawns into this little crevice as shown. This will make it easier to trap him in a corner and make it so he cannot disrupt your attacks by tossing you into the sky. Hitting him into the corner may be tricky at first, but with careful maneuvering and attacks, you will get there eventually. Use Entomb, Purge, and Repair wisely by being mindful of the cooldowns and stepping away from battle when necessary. Like in all boss battles, make sure to watch your armor, health, and food bar. The Purge skill also works here, giving you time to swap armor and reduce cooldowns on all of your other spells. From time to time, he will find a way out of the corner, but don't worry, all you have to do is reposition yourself and hit him back to the corner where he escaped from. Be careful of the random mobs that may spawn behind you. The last thing you need is a creeper blowing you up out of nowhere. Do not feel discouraged if you do not beat him the first time, but be mindful that if you die, you will need to redo the beginner dungeon to get the warp crystal back here. Remember, it is against the rules to set home inside of a dungeon. When he is defeated, pick up Jidaro's demonic essence, which you will need to turn in for the final part of this quest. The third quest in this questline only involves beating the Spider Queen in the third dungeon. While that may sound easy, the Spider Queen is actually very hard. Because she naturally outranges you as a spider, most of the time she will hit you before you hit her. She has a very hard knockback, and will sometimes hit you into one of the stray cobwebs. This is not a good spot for you because it doesn't give you a place to maneuver. There are two ways of doing this fight, a very slow but safe method, and a faster but more dangerous method. After spawning her, you can blink back to the platform you jumped from and just shoot her with arrows until she dies. If you plan on doing this, a infinity bow with power is highly recommended. This method is the safest but also the slowest. The other method is to fight her head on using your spells effectively. Entomb does not always work against her. When she's entombed, she may crawl out of the glass. Blink will be your lifesaver. When you need to regen and shorten your cooldowns, just blink up the platform from which you came from and wait. While this method is the fastest, it is also the most dangerous, so make sure you have enough hearts in order to take on this boss if you were planning to do it head on. I do not recommend doing this if you are fairly new and have under 30 to 40 hearts. As seen in the video, I have quite the difficulty fighting this boss, even with the beta armor and beta RPG weapon. I constantly have to blink up to the platform and repair my armor because she is just melting it away. When she is finally defeated, make sure to pick up the Spider Queen's eye, which you will need to turn into Camilla to move on to the next quest. The final dungeon is the Flame Empress. The battle against the Scourge is not needed, however, he does drop another warp crystal to the Flame Empress dungeon, so if you're afraid of dying, make sure to take him on and defeat him for an extra life. Cerberus is the first boss you need to defeat for Camilla. He is a wolf, so you will outrange him most of the time. Be warned, Cerberus does a lot of damage to your armor, so make sure you pay attention to it. The Purge spell works well against him. I have not tested the Entomb spell because hitting him into a corner is all you really need to do, and Entomb wasn't needed. So I'm not sure if he'll be able to crawl out. The bosses in the fourth dungeon have more health than the previous bosses, which is expected because the bosses do get harder. So make sure you are prepared for way longer fights. When you have finally defeated Cerberus, he drops the dog collar, so make sure you pick it up. Up next is Charred Bones. This boss is a Wither skeleton and is extremely difficult. When he hits you, you will have the Wither debuff, which causes health drain. My tip for this battle is to lure him to the outside and then blink your way into the netherwarts. The fence will act as a barricade and protect you from his hits. As you can see, standing on top of the barricade enables me to get a lot of free hits without taking damage. Sometimes he may also glitch in this hallway where he will just walk up to you but never leave. After spam clicking a few minutes, he will eventually fall. When he does, make sure to pick up the Charred Bones for Camilla. The final boss you will need to face is the Flame Empress. I highly recommend fire resistance potions or armor like the Flame Empress chestplate because they help negate most of the damage. You may also use scalpels, but the fire resistance they give does not last as long. This battle can be extremely easy if done the correct way. You can fight her in the boss arena where she is spawned, but you might find it easier to hit her into the hallway from which you came. This gives you the advantage of trapping her into a corner where you can consistently hit her until she dies. Hitting her into the hallway can be quite tricky. As seen, I tried using spells to lure her there, but they continue to fail. The trick here is to hit her in the correct angles to push her towards the hallway. In the long run, aiming your strikes correctly will result in a much easier and shorter fight. Once you hit her into the hallway, quickly blink your way up and position the boss into the corner and do your best to keep her there. Be mindful of your fire resistance and make sure you have it on at all times. Once you have defeated her, make sure you pick up the Flame Empress remains. This is the last quest item you need for Camilla. After you have turned in all of the items to Camilla and have finished the A New Horizon questline, all of the new magic questlines will be available for you. Talk to our Belor Hemlock if you are interested in learning the sword's magic. The requirements for the first quest is provided in the video. Talk to Shalilu if you are interested in learning the archery magic. Again, the requirements for the first quest is provided in the video. Talk to you if you are interested in learning the healer magic spells. The requirements for the first quest is provided in the video. And finally, talk to Vordracurerum if you want to learn the tank magic. And that is going to be the end of this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Visit my YouTube if you want to see more Minecraft content as well as some other games. Follow me on Twitch to watch and play with me live. Follow me on Twitter for updates. Links are in the description and on the screen in front of you. My name is Gonub. Thank you for watching.